The Hub is open daily at 7:05. It is staffed by Mrs. Ford and Mrs. Walland until 3 p.m. From 3 until 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, the Hub is open and operated by Mentor Public Library staff.
The Hub has over 8,000 books. Most are popular titles to read for fun, but there are also lots of required reading books that can be checked out. To check out a book, see Miss Ford or Miss Walland. No library card needed. Books check out for 3 weeks. The Hub has a small amount of DVDs for teachers and students to check out. These are located by the library office. If you have the option to watch a movie for extra credit for US or AP history, check out our selection.
Fiction books are alphabetical by author and begin with short story collections. Short story books are a great choice if you work and have a lot of homework and don't have a lot of time to read. They give you a small bites to take time and enjoy without the burden of reading a longer book. Fiction is arranged alphabetically by the author's last name. The beginning of the alphabet starts by the media office, and fiction books wind their way along the shelves by the windows. There are tons of great popular fiction books for teens, as well as some popular adult fiction authors like Stephen King and Jodi Picoult.
Nonfiction books are along the walkway on the lower shelves opposite of the windows. The Dewey numbers begin at the Jen Yes desk. At the end of the nonfiction collections are the books on careers, colleges, and test preparation. Following the career section are the biographies. The Hub also has a large collection of graphic novels, manga, and comic books. If you like superhero movies, here's your chance to read the original stories that inspired the films. Comic books can be checked out for 1 week.
Next to the comics collection is an Everybody collection filled with kids' books. You can borrow these for up to 3 weeks. They are great to help with psychology class, the preschool program, and for special needs students. Anyone can check them out, so if you are babysitting or have young siblings or cousins, these young reader books would be great to check out and share.
To search the catalog for a book, go to the Hub's website. On the Mentor School's homepage, go under Students and choose Hub Research Tools. In the top left corner, click on iSearch. Under iSearch, you can put in your book title. The results here show there are 2 copies at MHS, and they tell where they're located. You can also use iSearch to look for books on a topic. Here you can see there's an Everybody Kids book, some fiction books, a nonfiction book, 2 in the nonfiction college and career section. If you need articles for a research paper, click the other tabs and find suggestions from Infohio. The Hub's book collection also includes some topics that are personal and you may wish to read in private. Again, clicking on iSearch, you can search for mental health topics. You can see there are books here on the mental health topic of depression and on the historical topic of the Great Depression. Print books like this one on bipolar depression will have a book icon next to them on the left and will have a regular Dewey Decimal number. Books in your search result that have a web page icon on the left or an E in front of the call number are ebooks that you can read privately. Usually in the middle of the record, you can click the link to read the book. The username is Mentor and the password is Cardinals. Now you can read the book on the web anonymously. There are a lot of books on personal topic and on mental health, relationships, addiction, and bullying that are available to read in this format privately and anonymously. These books are great for research and reports and can be used for self-help purposes. But please remember that talking to a staff member you trust is the best option for getting help when you're struggling with serious issues. The Hub is a place to come for tech support. Talk to the Genya students at the desk first to see if they can assist you with tech problems. If the Genya students cannot help you with your tech problem, they will pass your computer along to Mrs. Walland or Mrs. Ford. And then if they are unable to help, your computer will be given to Mr. Baker from the IT department. The GenYes desk is also where you come to get loaner MacBooks or chargers if you forget yours.
The GenYes students and student technology leaders can help and triage computer problems. It is an elective class that students can take and learn repairs, Makerspace equipment, filming, and live streaming, and has blended online format with web modules to complete in addition to the in-person tech help and learning.
Some quick MacBook tips to keep in mind. If you spill anything on your computer, immediately shut it off and get it to the GenYes desk as quickly as possible. Do not leave it on, even if it appears fine. It is better to get it looked at immediately to make sure it can be cleaned up without replacing parts. Otherwise, there is a repair fee.
If your internet connection is not working, check to make sure your date and time is correct. If your MacBook is frozen, you can always do a hard reset to dry out a problem. Hold down the power button past the pop-up until the computer turns off.
If you need to print a paper, come into the hub and go to the end of the room closest to the front of the building. You will need to log on to the computers and open your Google Drive. From there you can send items to the student printer. There are posters that go through the steps in more detail. If you need anything printed in color, it is 25 cents a page, and you will need to talk to Ms. Ford or Ms. Walland.
Mentor High School's Makerspace offers you the chance to make projects for schools and clubs, but you can also create for your own interests. Sometimes there may just be a way to use some of the machines. If there is someone working on a school project, they get priority use of the machines, and projects for fun will be run on the machines after. Makerspace projects usually have a cost as well. The school only charges for the exact cost of replacing supplies. We don't make a profit on it. Most student projects cost under $5. We can usually estimate the cost before running the materials through the machines. Fees are charged to campus, and you need to pay for them in cash in the bookstore or pay online with a card through campus. Bring the receipt back to the hub, and then you can take your project home.
Here at the Makerspace, we have a laser engraving machine that allows you to cut wood and acrylic sheets to create ornaments, boxes, and even jewelry. The machine can engrave both clip art images and photographs into wood. You can engrave using signs or boxes or pieces of wood that you bring in, or you can use some of the wooden acrylic sheets that we have available. The machine costs $1 per 15 minutes of use, and if you use the hub's materials, you are charged 5 cents per square inch.
The hub has a large format poster printer that can be used for high quality prints. There are a wall of examples available to help you estimate costs. After the job prints, we will charge for exactly the amount of ink and paper used. We can print photographs and original creations. We cannot print other people's copyrighted materials or posters.
If you want to create stickers for your MacBook or t-shirt designs, the hub has a vinyl cutter to cut out projects. Most students create several stickers for only 25 cents to $1. The cutter can be used to cut shirt vinyl as well. You just need to bring your own shirt or sweatshirt. Most student-made shirts cost between $4 to $7.
The hub also has a Cricut machine that can be used to make stickers and cut t-shirt vinyl. It cuts paper and cardstock for making lettering for posters and trifold projects. It can also create greeting cards and other paper crafts. Decorative paper and cardstock are available for 10 to 25 cents a page.
Staff and students have two options for making t-shirts. Using the Cricut or vinyl cutter, they'll let you make shirts in 1 or 2 colors with text and clip art. For those shirts, you are charged per inch of the heat transfer vinyl you used. We also have sublimation printing. This allows you to print full color images to permanently put on a t-shirt. Just bring your artwork, photograph, or collage on a flash drive to the Makerspace along with your shirt.
To use the sublimation printer, the image on the shirt must be your own. We will not copy artwork or clothing designs that are other people's copyrighted work. These shirts will cost $5 to make. Also, you will have to bring in your own shirt or sweatshirt. Cotton poly blends work best for vinyl shirts. Polyester works best for sublimation shirts.
Additionally, the Makerspace has coloring books you can get pages copied from, a button maker press to create your own pins, magnets, or keychains, a spiral binding machine for creating booklets, and makey and snap circuit kits for classes to use. There are also general craft supplies, construction paper, marker Sharpies, and colored pencils for homework and projects.
Finally, the Makerspace has 3D printers. You can design your own 3D objects or print STL files you find online. It is a slow but inexpensive way to create all kinds of objects. If you're interested in 3D printing, start to look around for free STL files, and come down to the GenYes desk to consult with us about getting it printed and what your size and color options will be.
Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Ford. I'm the District Media Specialist, which means I help students with research. I'm also the teacher for GenYes, and the librarian who handles the books in the Makerspace. I want to talk to you about getting ready to write research papers, everyone's least favorite time of year. To start out, you want to go to the Mentor School's website, click on Students, and then choose Hub Research Tools, and that'll take you to the page that'll give you all the information that you need for your assignments. Here on the Hub's webpage, you can click on iSearch. This will take you to books we have on the shelves, ebooks in our digital collection, and articles that are part of Infohio. Infohio databases are the ones that are paid for by our state tax dollars and are available to any student in the state. You can probably do all of your research paper getting articles from Infohio, either by clicking on Infohio directly or clicking on iSearch. If I want to use Infohio to find resources for a research paper, I could click the iSearch, but in this case, I want to have it more targeted and less general stuff. I'm going to click Academic Search Premier. Now, Academic Search Premier will default to searching all of their article databases, which could give you way too many results. I would recommend instead choosing the databases so you can narrow down your search. That way, if you're looking for science, you can just click the research that deals with science. If you're looking for things related to psychology, you could just search in that. If you're looking for things related to business. So these kind of narrow it down and make it so you don't get too many results. In general, the best ones for everyone to pick: Academic Search Premier, Mass Ultra, Master File. Those are good generic databases. Again, you can see business ones, ebooks, health reference. We're going to look for information about whether or not we should have school uniforms. So I'm going to pick ERIC because that's a research database just related to education. We can see there's environmental ones, there are health ones, hobbies, library info, literature. So if we're looking for something related to a book for English class, we could pick the literature ones only. Because I am picking a topic that is a controversial topic, I'm going to choose the Points of View Reference Center because that one is related just to both sides of issues. I'm going to do Professional Development Collection because, again, that's another education one. Psychology, the mindset related to school uniforms would be useful. I don't need business. I don't need science. I'm going to pick Topic Search too because that's a good general database. So by picking these, I'll get less results. Now, if you're really bad at spelling, you can see that Infohio and EBSCO, they start to give you information already. So if you start to type the word correctly, it'll give you other suggestions of what to pick. So I'm just going to say school uniforms rather than pros and cons because I should get both by using less terms. Now here you can see my search results. I have 31,000 results. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is impossible for you to search and find good info. Plus, the databases don't use the same methods of searching like Google. Google uses keywords. Instead, this uses articles that have been selected by someone else. That means the sources are vetted. Vetted sources are great because someone's already done the work. They've decided that the article is of academic value, and they've paid the author and the magazine to have access to it. So someone has really proven a point that this is valid and useful. If you're just going with Google, you can get a result that just anyone threw out there. So it could be someone just ranting and raving who has no expertise. That's really important in a research paper. You want someone who has a background, someone who has an opinion that is informed. That helps you prove your arguments. So again, 31,000 results is way too many. On the left-hand side, I have limiters I can apply in order to drop that down. So I do not need articles from 1908. I'm going to jump all the way forward to just the last 10 years. My results dropped by half. Still not good enough. Maybe I just want the past 4 years, because the debate about school uniforms obviously is going to be influenced by the pandemic, and I want the most recent information. Maybe a little bit of articles before the pandemic, and then some talking about school uniforms during the pandemic. Now we're down to 5,000. Still too many, but a lot better. You can do more limiters. Always make sure the full text is checked. You don't want a summary, you want the full article every time. So if you go to source types, you could click on these, which will narrow it down further. Magazine stories, academic journals. Academic journals are going to be based in research. In order to publish in an academic journal, your article has to get approved by others in your field so that the information you're presenting is considered valid and useful to the entire knowledge base of that career. So I might want to use some academic articles because they're going to have some research behind them. I might want to use a couple news or magazine stories because they're more general, and I can shape those to my argument. Still kind of a lot. Now, if you ever are in a situation where you get too few results, click thesaurus term. And if you click that, it can help you expand or reduce the amount of terms that you have. Again, like helping to limit the amount of results. Now we're down to 38, much more useful. Here are two really good articles about school uniform costs. That might be one of my body paragraphs for my argument, is the cost of uniforms are affordable, or I could make the other argument, we should not have uniforms because the cost of uniforms is too high. Both of these sound like good articles I might want to use. When you're doing research, it's always better to find something, save it, and keep going, saving as much as possible, and then afterwards take the time to read it. That way you don't lose the good search terms and limiters that you've already used. Now, both of these say PDF full text. So I'm going to click on one of them, and it's going to give me the article summary, but not the whole article. So if it's a PDF full text, you have one more click that you need to do, right over here. So here is an article I can use. I can either check this button right here and download it, or I could click on Google Drive. I'm going to download it. It just says content server, so I'm going to make it cost uniforms, so I know later what the article's about, and I'm saving it into my downloads folder. Make sure you're always picking the same place to save everything to so you can find it later. And if you saved it as a PDF and you're successful, it'll pop up an Acrobat Reader. Finally, before I leave, whether I am on detailed record or on the PDF full text, either one of them gives you a menu on the right-hand side. Always, 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 before you leave this page, click Cite, scroll down to the MLA format because that's what most of you are going to use, highlight for your Works Cited page, the citation, and open a Google Doc, paste it in there. Even if you decide later you're not going to use the article, you can delete it. But it's really hard to write a Works Cited page. If they've done the work for you, take advantage of that. That's part of why we use these instead of Google. I could get the same article on Google, but by getting it through here, I'm able to get that Works Cited help. Cutting and pasting is a lot easier than writing an original citation. Also, if it's in a database, it's a little bit better than if I find it on Google, because Google, it's a lot harder to save it, and lots of websites need more space, and they'll delete stuff, and it's gone for good. So you might be in the middle of your paper, you really needed that article to prove your point, and it's now gone. So the articles I found before were about lowering the cost of school uniforms, but if you want to make the argument that we should not have school uniforms because they're too expensive, it sounds like this article from the news results would be useful, as parents relied on debt for school uniforms. In this case, it does not have a PDF. It has an HTML full text article, which means it will be pasted directly into the results, directly into the summary. In order to save this one, you want to click on Google Drive. It may ask to link your accounts. You want to allow that. And then you should get a message. Your document has been saved to Google Drive account. Again, before I close this article, I'm going to read it later. But for right now, before I close it, what I want to make sure I do is use that link on the right-hand side. Click Cite, scroll down to MLA. So I'm going to cut and paste this into a Google Doc in case I do want to use this in my paper later.